I guess, video number 2 on what not to do when it comes to a news story, especially if you're trying to investigate it or learn more. If anybody's not aware of it recently, YouTube has made it almost impossible to find the latest video on any subject because they want to control the horizontal, vertical, and everything you see. Next, a lot of you are used to the last, I would say, entire lifespan of 50 to 60 years of being told specific methods for solving problems or investigating things that have been twisted, shifted, morphed, and mutated over this last 50 years. You might want to look up early journalism books from, I have to actually say it this way, in the 1970s ought to be good enough. I would recommend 1970s versus 1960s so you can get an idea of the shift in the way we used to critically analyze things. And I want you to also notice the extreme efforts by certain groups of people we now know about that wanted to make sure you don't have critical thinking skills. Now that's the neutral part of this video. The next part's going to be pretty simple. Stop giving Donald Trump air on stories that have nothing to do with him. He is inserting himself in a recent case that's the title of the video. And again, just like the previous video, this is not about solving the case. It's about how we go about even learning about it. I don't have anything to contribute, and you might be thinking, I'm doing this video just so I can hear myself speak, or maybe I'm pulling a Trump. No. The thing that always fucks up every single time something happens and the public gets involved, especially right now it's Facebook and, oddly enough, mainstream news, all doing the same stupid mistakes, is that people won't do the following first step. Shut up and actually ask yourself some questions. Do I know something for a fact that I could demonstrate and prove in a court of law that would be irrefutable? Apparently telling people, do you know what is and is not a fact, isn't going to leak into their fucking cerebellum anymore. So literally, would you be able to go into a courtroom and state, under penalty of being thrown in prison without possibility of pardon, would you be able to prove what you're saying? If you can't, we're going to do a rule here. And I'm going to invoke an entire subculture and also a religion. Okay, I'm going to say it. If you can't prove definitively that you have evidence about something, or at least are an eyewitness to something, you're not supposed to make a claim about anybody or anything in Judaism. I know in the current climate that might be bad, but that's one of the few ideological, religious, or cultural references I know of besides science where they say, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut up, is basically it. I know that's harsh, and when you're deliberately given an information vacuum like we're getting on purpose from the media, yeah. Yes, Hinduism Times is going to come up. So let's do a couple of things here. I'm just going to bring up the notes of what someone posted under my video. This is not casting shade on the person who said this. If it can be taken two different ways and one of them's bad, don't do so. And the next one, if you can take it personally, don't. The whole story is bizarre. Every story that we don't have the ending for is bizarre because we don't know what's going on. Because in reality, we're all blind mice groping, not realizing an elephant, thinking it's a rope or a tree. Please learn these old school examples of why we're not perfect. Everybody out there, can you just do? I'm serious. This is grammar school stuff that nobody is able to invoke. I don't know if you're taught this anymore, but the fact is that perspective is reality for everyone, and perspective is garbage because we're not omnipotent beings. We're not omnipotent. We are not able to see in 4D chess mode. Yes, that's a joke about Trump again. Yes, I'm going to do that. If you're a pro-Trump person, we'll get to the punchline here, more of the punch in the gut line. If you are a person who spent the last 50 years of your life being pre-programmed to ignore facts, I don't want you watching the video. I want you venting in the comment section so I can delete it, because you're not going to solve anything. An entire half of the population in my country, and actually an entire half of the population on this planet, have gotten fed up with people who do not contribute anything to solving problems. But the thing is, none of you watching are one of them. You might not be able to contribute anything, but you're not doing it intentionally. A tiny portion, 0.1% of the population, and they're not Republican or Democrat, they're just assholes, are trying to scramble things up because they make money. It's all about money. Okay? The whole story is bizarre. Always is until we know the answer. And even when we do know the answer, Paddock really did do what we've been told in Las Vegas. Lee Harvey Oswald really is the person who killed JFK. It always seems bizarre if you have that emotion or that intellectual or whatever state, like a fugue state. You look up the word state as far as mental and emotional processes. If you're always stuck with a sense of wonder, you'll always think everything's wonderful. If you're always stuck with, I'm not satisfied about the answer, it doesn't matter how satisfying the answer is to any objective person or any reasonable and prudent person. That's a term used in the legal system. I'm going to invoke that a lot. Almost just made up. Everything in the world looks made up if you watch enough true crime stuff or mythology or whatever, or if you've spent your entire life being told shit that does not match reality when you walk out the door. Is the person really missing? Now, this could be about any story. Are we being told what's really going on a most fundamental level? Okay, self-test. How many times have you seen the news and the officials in the police and the officials in the government in the country you're in, I didn't say America, say something is happening that is absolutely mundane? Yes, it is. Yes, it's bizarre, seems made up. Okay, we're going to put that to the side because those statements actually don't match reality at this point. That they don't. People go missing all the time. It's only a missing persons case. And people get kidnapped on a really regular basis. And if you're not aware of it, let's just put this in context. I'm in the United States of America, and we have a default Gestapo that kidnaps people. Please tell me how this seems made up, or someone could be not really missing. Now, I'm taking this in sequence at face value. There is an underlying text, subtext to this. But, again, self-check. In the United States, how many people are confirmed as being kidnapped or just gone missing, and we know the outcomes? Out of the percentage of people who go missing, or whatever variation of that wording you want to use, 90% of those are solved cases. Yes, I know the mystery of 411, or whatever you looked up in the last video before coming here, said that, no, 90% of these cases aren't solved. And then if you read along to the edge, within the first day. 90% of cases aren't solved in one day. Almost 100%, it's not 90%, almost 100% of the cases are solved within a month. Because the body turns up, or they just show up alive. The missing 411 phenomena, where people are never found, except 99% of them have been found. As of last week, when I bothered looking it up, people keeping track of the claim that they were never found, virtually all of them were found. Yeah, but, what do you mean, yeah, but? The author of the story, the author of the movement, the author of the meme on the internet was just lying for money. The world is a mysterious and inscrutable place unless you actually dig a little deeper. Now, I'm not saying this as shade on anybody, but we don't have time in our lives to do it because we're being distracted on purpose in some cases, Epstein files, by people who want to keep us distracted because it keeps us off balance, so we'll buy stuff, okay? Just tell me that's not really happening in the world now, right now. I dare you to type it. Everyone will be like, wow, what does the sky look like in your world? Is this person really missing, or is this person hiding for a story? Yes, people going famous for committing effectively multimedia and public and social media fraud. That has happened. Yes, I know that. I know of 2 instances. People faking kidnappings have happened. This does not have any of the earmarks for that. Why would that be something that you grasp at? These are straws we're grasping at. Because, again, we're in an information vacuum. This is an information vacuum. It's deliberately created. Yes, the news creates information vacuums, so you keep watching because they're trying to make money. But there's another end of it where people, no matter how clear the information is, Lee Harvey Oswald, we are not allowed to have the answer. because someone out there will always say, I refuse to accept the answer. And then they can keep running with this shit for how long has it been since Kennedy died? How many people are still selling books? They do it for money. If somebody doesn't make money at it at all, and you're able to investigate them, they don't make money, they're either crazy or just dedicated. But at least it's not a money motivation. I have never found a conspiracy theorist about the uber conspiracy theory of JFK dying. I've never found one of them that wasn't money motivated. Period, full stop. And I've met some of them personally. And they don't remember me because I'm the most forgettable person on earth when I want to be. Because it's part of the trade craft. What's this really covering up? Okay, that one actually pops up as, why is the newspaper, why are the news channels emphasizing literally a person going missing? Because she's related to, and this actually shouldn't matter, but she's related to somebody who is in the news and journalism industry on television. It's one of their own is affected. That's why. Because it affected whether or not that person was going to be hosting coverage of the Olympics or something. That's why they covered it. It has nothing to do with it being, this person, this lady being any more important than your Aunt Mabel going missing 2 days ago, who's not getting in the news. Where did this occur? Tucson, Arizona, Catalina foothills, an area that's a couple of miles across. An area that a person could easily go missing. But we have the problem of there's evidence of foul play. I'm not going to go into details because can you look up what was actually really said, or are you reading it on Facebook or the Hinduism Times or something like that? Because everywhere I look it up, people are lying because there's no consequence for lying about a news story at all. So I'm going to look at YouTube here, and I've got it. Trump is mad. He's not the main character in this story. Why did I type that in? Oh, the next step. Donald Trump is an attention whore that needs 24/7 coverage, or he doesn't feel like the little dinger doesn't go up. Stop giving Trump air. Stop featuring him on anything. I'm going to use him in the thumbnail. This guy doesn't matter because he's not the main character, and it fucking drives him crazy. The less you talk about him, the better off we are as a species. But why am I bringing this up? Because, again, if you get angry, I get more views. I'm being manipulative. I'm rubbing your nose in it. It's all part of a humiliation ritual. The Illuminati confirmed. Whatever you want to type, right? Okay, let's look it up. Nancy Guthrie, and then I put in after, 2026 -02-09, because as of right now, it's the 8th, and that will force YouTube to give me the latest videos whether it wants to or not, because apparently people at YouTube figured out my little trick for seeing the latest videos on a subject. They have to countermand it. So I just tell it, yeah, every video before tomorrow. Or after. Yeah, after tomorrow. So anyway, what do we have? There's a claim that there was yet another ransom note. That's a fake story right now. There's another one that, again, tearful confession in a dramatic video. It was AI. Hundreds and hundreds of these. I'm not going to go through. If the bottle says that it'll cure cancer, it doesn't, because it can't, because there's no such thing. Yes, that's a giant wet fish in the face slap. Okay, why am I making this video? Again, like yesterday, it has nothing to do with the story about this lady going missing and her relatives looking for her. Because that's happening all over the planet in lots of populations. It's not about that. It's about people exploiting the story and making money, people using Facebook or whatever page they can to promote their bullshit. Are these reliable sources? If they tease at something and don't deliver, stop going to the page. Make a conscious effort to block the website. And then spread that to people. I'm not kidding. The most valuable thing you can do right now to find this lady, if you really care, isn't to speculate on some conspiracy theory. It's to tell everybody to block all the sources that are lying so that maybe we can help. That's the entire video. That was the video yesterday too, really. And stop putting Trump in the thumbnails. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it.